Today is February 7th, 2021. My name is Charles Suter, and I'm presenting another of my series called Overcoming the Fear of, this time the fear of death and dying. The main message is that death does not come until the end of a well-lived life. Now, fear is a natural emotion that protects people from harm when they face real and imminent danger. A phobia is an excess fear or anxiety related to specific objects or situations, and the fear is completely out of proportion to the actual danger. Thus, normal fears are healthy and appropriate, as they warn you to take immediate action to avoid harm to a clear and present threat. Phobias, however, are irrational and result in excessive fear that serves no useful purpose. Irrational fears serve only to keep you bound to your comfort zone, cause unnecessary stress and anxiety, and limit your options for living an expansive life. The rational short-term solution to overcoming the fear of death and dying is begin taking better care of yourself, your health, and your safety. If you're engaged in any unsafe habits or routines, eliminate and replace them immediately with healthier and safer alternatives. The long-term solution to overcoming any phobia is improving your self-esteem by gaining more positive experiences, gather factual information, and begin building rational beliefs. A healthy self-esteem can be acquired over time with intention and effort and the guidance of a trained therapist or counselor. My main proposition here is that the fear of death and dying is psychological. It's not a physical threat. The fear of death is often caused by traumatic past experiences with death, perhaps with a loved one. Post-traumatic stress disorder is caused by past traumatic experiences. So does the fear of death and dying come from similar traumatic experiences. Fear of a repeat episode of a near-death or dying simply causes hyper-anxiety. The fear of death, dying, illness, disease fall into the phobia category if no health or physical threat exists. People with the fear of death believe they're vulnerable, perhaps because they have witnessed or experienced death or near-death episodes, either with themselves or loved ones. Sometimes, severely traumatizing events leave long-lasting emotional scars, often called post-traumatic stress disorder. To overcome these psychological conditions will require assistance, perhaps, from a trained therapist, but there is considerable self-help that one can perform on their own. For a normal person, rational worry about one's health and safety should not lead to fear, but instead it should lead to appropriate actions based on the knowledge gained on how to influence desirable outcomes. Rational worry leads to right action, not to irrational fear. For the normal person, the more one lives a healthy, prudent, and safe life, the less there is to worry about. Proposition 2. Excessive psychological fears are unhealthy and unnecessary. Any fear out of proportion to the threat is called a phobia. Phobias are dealt with by cognitive, behavioral, and spiritual remedies. A cure to any phobia is to build a pervasive belief in oneself and your ability to survive. Knowing the distinction between a fear and a phobia allows you to pick the right cure to emotional distress. The wrong approach is excessive fear of death and dying is to continue fearing for the worst and passively waiting for it to happen. The real source of an excessive fear of death is not death itself, because everyone must face death eventually at the end of a well-lived life, but the belief that it could happen at any time. The fear of death is based on misconceived and irrational beliefs that one's life and safety are somehow at risk during the course of a normal day. Phobias are 100% mental, based on misperceptions, false beliefs, and low self-esteem. Excessive fears can be cured by altering the causes, which are A. Traumatically stressful events from the past, B, improper information and perceptions about present health and safety threats. And or C, low self-esteem, either self-confidence or self-worth, in caring for yourself. Proposition 3. Psychological fears/phobias are best treated with cognitive reorientation. Build new beliefs that life can be safely lived. This is the cognitive emphasis. Develop best practices for health, safety, and wellness. This is the behavioral emphasis. Develop a belief in a benevolent God. This is the spiritual emphasis. If you suffer from the fear of death and dying, you can take a three-pronged approach for overcoming that particular phobia. First, you need to assure yourself that you are healthy. Go get a physical checkup. Or if not at full health, then begin a course of medical treatment. Start living healthily by getting plenty of rest, exercise, and nutrition. Second, you need to build some new positive beliefs about yourself and your lifestyle. A trained therapist can assist you with this, but developing new beliefs is as simple as picking up the beliefs you want to have about your life and reinforcing them with focused repetitions. Here are some examples. Life is safe because I'm careful and take prudent precautions. Here's another affirmation. As long as I am alive, I intend to live it as fully and with as much love in my heart without overdoing it. And finally, I take care of my health, and my health allows me to live my life more fully. Third, many people apply their beliefs to a benevolent God to build their belief that they were created for a purpose and not destined to die one day sooner than their life was destined to end. Thus, in the short term, right action and beliefs converts immobilizing fears into confidence of successful living. In the long term, building high self-esteem eliminates all irrational fears, including the fear of death and dying. My final message: live fully as long as you are alive. You can recover from excessive irrational fears and phobias by A, getting accurate perceptions of reality. This includes accurate information. B, building more confidence in your ability to live a safe and healthy life with prudent behaviors and routines. This is the motivation to develop a better lifestyle. And most importantly, C, fostering a healthy self-esteem with positive affirmations such as, I live with healthy habits and I will remain healthy. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive, you'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.